I look at the lineup tonight for the Brewers. Paul Molitor leads it off and plays third base. Robin Yount batting second and playing center field. Glenn Braggs in right field, bats third. Cecil Cooper is the DH, Coop batting fourth. Dale Swaim, red hot with the bat, has moved up into the fifth spot and plays shortstop. Greg Brock, the first baseman, batting sixth. Jim Paciorek will play left field, taking Rob Deere's place tonight. Deere sitting out tonight with a slight sprain in his right wrist. Slid last night into second base and had to leave the ball game. Had some x-rays taken today. They were negative, but Paciorek is in the lineup tonight. Bill Schroeder does the catching, and Jim Gantner will play second base and bat ninth. There's a look at the Orioles defense tonight. Murray, Burleson, Ripken, and Knight on the infield. Gerhardt, Lynn, and Shelby in the outfield. Floyd Rayford makes his first start behind the plate. And former Cy Young winner Mike Flanagan will take the mound against the Brewers tonight. Flanagan making his second start of the year. He's 0-0 with a 3.38 earned run average. 1-0 against the Brewers last year, and 9-10 lifetime. At one time, Flanagan had a 6-3 record against Milwaukee, but he has had some problems of late against the Brewers. Flanagan's Cy Young year came in 1979 when he was 23-9 for the Orioles. Fastball, curveball, slider, and change, and made a decision in the offseason, early spring training, to go with a little more hard stuff. So we shall see as Molitor gets set to lead it off, and stepping in to bring you the action, here's Jim Paskey.
Thank you, Mike. Paul Molitor hitting over 400 this season. He led off last night's ball game with a home run. One of 5 homers for the Brewers. 5 solo home runs. Fouled back, and the count is 1-1. Flanagan is 5-4 lifetime against the Milwaukee Brewers here at Memorial Stadium. The 1-1, high and outside. Flanagan seemed to find his fastball a little bit late in the year last year. He started to get the velocity up on it and had some success late in the season. Molitor hits a high foul ball down the right side.
Well, you can see the umbrellas out in the background there. It's kind of a threatening evening here in the Baltimore area. Some showers around.
The 2-2 pitch is in the dirt. Floyd Rayford making his first start behind the plate this season. So the count is 3-2 to Molitor. It's a cool evening in Baltimore, perhaps the coolest of the 3. Again, fouled on the right side by Molitor.
Well, neither club took batting practice tonight. They had the tarps on. Took them off in time to get infield practice in.
It's a called third, and Rayford makes, oh, wait a minute. Well, yes, it is a called third. Everybody was in slow motion. Molitor is retired on strikes.
Well, I think Molitor might have felt that it was ball 4. And it was a bad pitch, but there Molly goes around. You know, he had a chance if he was running all the way to beat the throw as the ball got away from Rayford. But I have a feeling that Paulie just thought that it was ball 4. And he was kind of taking his time going to first base.
So Molitor is retired on strikes, and Yount swings at the first pitch from Flanagan and fouls it. No balls, 1 strike to Robin Yount. He homered last night. His second of the season. It rained home runs here last night. The 1-1 pitch. Missing for a ball.
Yeah, the Brewers hadn't hit 5 home runs in a ball game since back in '83.
In the air, center field. Fred Lynn makes the catch. Yount flies out to Lynn in center, and there are 2 down here in the first inning. Glenn Braggs was 2 for 5 in last night's ball game. He's 2 for 9 in the series. And he has been smoking the ball, hitting hard shots. Taking for a strike. Last night, Braggs hit a shot off pitcher Ken Dixon off his ankle. The night before, off the ankle of Burleson at second base. Burleson was 130 feet away and couldn't get his glove down in time. That's how hard the ball was hit. Smashed foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Glenn Braggs. The Brewers are just the 13th team in this century to get out to an 8-0 start in the season. Braggs broke his bat, and he will go for some new lumber. We talked about the sweeps so far this season, Mike. The Brewers last swept Baltimore in 1979, 3 games in Milwaukee. They have never swept the Orioles here at Memorial Stadium, but they are trying to do it tonight. And they are trying to go home to Milwaukee tomorrow with a 9-0 record. The Brewers have also never had a 6-0 road trip. In 82, they were 5-1. In 78, 7-1, but never 6-0. They won the first 3 in Texas and the first 2 here in Baltimore. Braggs is ready, facing Flanagan with an 0-2 count. 2 outs in the inning. Flanagan just misses. Swing and a miss. 2 strikeouts for Flanagan in the inning. 1-2-3 for the Orioles. After a half, there's no score with the Orioles coming to bat. You're on the Milwaukee Brewers Television Network.
A look at the Oriole batting order tonight. Ken Gerhardt, the left fielder, will lead things off. Rick Burleson batting second. Cal Ripken, the shortstop, hits third. Eddie Murray at first base batting fourth. Fred Lynn in center field will hit fifth. Ray Knight at third base batting sixth. The DH is Lee Lacy, and Lacy will hit seventh. John Shelby in right field batting eighth. And Floyd Rayford, the catcher, will bat ninth. Greg Brock at first base in the Brewer defense. Gantner at second. Swaim at short. And Molitor at third. Jim Paciorek in left field. Robin Yount in center field. And Glenn Braggs in right. Bill Schroeder does the catching. Juan Nieves making his second start of the year. 1-0 with a very lofty 10.13 earned run average, 5 1/3 innings pitched. One of the reasons you see right there, he has walked 5, struck out only 1. He also gave up a 2-run homer to Steve Buechele of Texas in his first time out. A ball game in which the Brewers jumped out to an 8-0 lead and hung on for an 11-8 victory. Nieves went 5 1/3. Last year against Baltimore, 1-1 with a 3.09 earned run average.
Nieves to face Ken Gerhardt, Rick Burleson, and Cal Ripken here in the Oriole first. Gerhardt played in the game Monday night and went 1 for 3. First ball hitting, fouled directly back. A reminder, Carrack's Muffler Brake Shops are putting the brakes on childhood cancer. When the Brewers complete a double play, Carrack's will donate $50 to the MAC Fund. Gerhardt gets behind in the count, 0-2. Juan Nieves won the game in Texas, but prior to that, he had gone 11 consecutive starts without a victory, dating back to last July against New York. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Catcher Bill Schroeder wants Nieves to come in with as many first pitch strikes tonight as possible.
Best pitch in baseball.
On the ground, Swain. He's made all the plays, and he gets Gerhardt. Dale Swain made one of the best defensive plays you'll ever see last night on a ball hit by Alan Wiggins deep in the hole. Swain knocked it down, got up on one knee, and threw a rocket to Greg Brock, who made a great play on the scoop at first base. Rick Burleson steps in. Burleson is having a tough series. 0 for 4 last night, 0 for 9 in the 2 games against the Brewers.
I think Dale surprised everybody when he went to first base. Everybody we talked to after the game last night thought that he would go to second. And he said he just reacted. He caught the ball and threw to first. But Andy Etchebarren said he was standing in the dugout, and when Swain threw the ball, he went, "Oh no!" He thought that he was throwing it toward second base and threw it 10 feet out of the way, and it ended up at first.
Well, everybody in the park thought Swain would go to second.
Yep.
Some thought he might have even gone to third with the force there, but no, he did it the hard way and went all the way to first. It was a fantastic defensive play. The count is 2-2 to Burleson. Nieves came in with 2 balls, got a called strike and a foul ball. 2-2 now. No score, bottom of the first inning in Baltimore with 1 out. Strike 3. Schroeder hangs on, and Burleson is 0 for 10 in the series.
The first breaking ball that Juan has thrown, and he made it in a very good spot right here. He'll start it about waist high, and again, breaking down below the knees, and he got Burleson to swing at a bad pitch.
Bill Schroeder said Nieves throws a slurve, a combination slider curveball. Well, as cold as Burleson is in the series, Cal Ripken has been pretty hot. 2 for 5 last night with a 2-run homer.
Well, we began to get on that semantics kick in spring training when we talked about the knuckleball and the split finger. And you're absolutely right. A slurve is in between. You can call it either a small curveball or a big slider, whatever you want to do. But I think a slurve probably pretty aptly describes it.
Ripken is 3 for 8 in the series against the Brewers. Facing a 1-1 pitch from Juan Nieves. Hit in the air. Swain is back. Yount is on, and he'll make the catch. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Juan Nieves. 3 up, 3 down after 1. No score in Baltimore on the Brewers television network. No score as we head into the top of the second inning here in Baltimore. Mike Flanagan to see Cecil Cooper, Dale Swain, and Greg Brock.
For the Brewers, batting fourth, the designated hitter.
Cecil Cooper is 0 for 7 in the series. He took the collar last night, 0 for 5, but on Monday night, he had 2 very big sacrifice flies. Cecil seeing action in his 3rd game of the season. He takes a strike from Flanagan. Coming off the disabled list on Monday. Cecil bothered by a pulled muscle in his side. No balls, 1 strike. Sounds like a broken bat. Murray covers and goes to Flanagan for the putout. And Cooper is retired, 3-1.
Well, Flanagan has broken a couple of bats already. He got Glenn Braggs in the first, and looked like Cooper right there. It appears to me, Jim, just what we were talking about. Flanagan so far has thrown a lot of hard stuff. Good movement on his fastball, hard slider. You haven't seen that big, sloppy curveball that he used to throw.
Facing Dale Swaim, who is hot. He swings and misses. Swaim has hit in every ball game for the Brewers. And in the last 6 games, he has driven in runs. 3 for 4 last night. Our star of the game. Fouled out of play on the right side. Mike, I think I read somewhere that last year, late in the year, Flanagan was clocked at 90 miles an hour on the fastball for the first time in his career. So when they say he found something, I'd say he did too. I don't believe he's throwing 90 miles an hour tonight. Swaim pops it up. This one may be playable for Murray. He goes out, then in toward the line and makes the catch.
Well, right now, first time around, to this point, he has challenged most of the hitters. That wind blowing out to left field and had an effect on the ball in foul territory.
Greg Brock steps in. Greg had a home run last night, his second home run of the year. Both have been to the opposite field. He was 1 for 3 last night and did not play in the series opener Monday, getting a rest in favor of Jim Paciorek at first base. We will see Paciorek next if Brock is able to get on base. 1 ball, no strikes from Flanagan. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Now, Brock, during his career in the National League, had some problems against left-handed pitching. But one of the reasons that you have problems, Jimmy, first of all, if you don't see him very much, that's going to give you trouble to begin with, because that breaking ball is always going away from you.
Brock holds up on the 2-1, so now the count is 3-1.
So it's always an adventure when you go up to the plate and you haven't seen many left-handers. I think lefties need to see left-handers. Once they do, they feel comfortable.
Brock draws the walk, the first by Flanagan, so we will see Jim Paciorek, tonight's left fielder.
The other part of that equation is, you know, when you sit on the bench or you're not in the lineup against a left-hander, and then all of a sudden a left-handed reliever comes in and they leave you in the game, I think you put a little pressure on yourself because you want to get a base hit to show the manager that you can hit left-handers. So you start to press a little bit.
Well, Flanagan has been pretty tough on left-handers through his career. Paciorek swings and misses. Jimmy was 0 for 2 Monday night. So he is looking for his first hit against the Baltimore Orioles. No balls and 2 strikes. Paciorek hit .309 last year at Vancouver. And he has alley power, 30 doubles. Taking on 0-2. Brock back at first. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Now Flanagan has a good move to first base. So Brock will stay fairly close. He's not a big base stealing threat.
Flanagan comes in 1-2. Paciorek to right field, and the catch is made by John Shelby, and the Orioles are out of the inning. No runs, no hits. The Brewers leave 1 after 1.5. Still no score. You're on the Milwaukee Brewer Television Network. Jim Paskey and Mike Keegan in Baltimore. No score with the Orioles coming to bat in the 2nd inning. This copyrighted program is authorized under television rights granted by the Milwaukee Brewers Baseball Club solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Milwaukee Brewers Baseball Club and WVTV is prohibited. Eddie Murray steps in. Murray, Lynn, and Knight are due to face Juan Nieves in the Orioles' second inning. In for a strike. No balls and a strike to Eddie Murray. Murray is 2 for 4, both of his hits in the series coming last night, 2 for 8 in the 2 games. And Mike pointed out last night that he is a sleeping giant. The Brewers hoping that Eddie Murray does not wake up completely as long as they are in town. 1 ball and 1 strike now from Nieves. On the appeal, no help, it's a ball. 2-1. Juan Nieves has had his troubles with Eddie Murray, at least last year. Murray went 4 for 10 with a home run. A little looper, and it is caught beautifully by Paciorek in left. An unbelievable catch. Paciorek went into that Bermuda Triangle of 3 Brewers and came out with the ball.
Well, I think when the ball was hit, Jimmy broke back because Murray had the big swing, and he was playing deep anyway. A long way to go, and look at this catch right here, right off the top of the grass. Beautiful play by Jim Paciorek. Boy, you talk about defense. They have been throwing some leather, haven't they?
Unbelievable. We told you about the play by Swain last night. That's just one of many. You just saw another one. This is Fred Lynn. 0 for 2 last night. He has just 1 hit and 5 trips in the series. One ball, no strikes. There's a strike called by home plate umpire Jim Evans. There you see the breeze blowing from right to left here at Memorial Stadium. Nieves coming in 1-1. Fouled left side. It should be out of play about 4 or 5 rows back. Fred Lynn went hitless last night. That's the first time this season that he has taken the collar. He has gotten on base 45% of the time so far this season. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Nieves. Another pop-up, same area. Yount makes the catch. And there are 2 away. 2 outs on fly balls here in the Orioles second to Murray and Lynn. And now we see the hottest hitter in Major League Baseball, Ray Knight, the third baseman, hitting .571. He is the only Oriole to hit in all 8 games. And 7 of those have been multi-hit games. Knight was 2 for 4 last night. Mike, he's so hot, he went 2 for 4, and his average dropped down to .571. That's hot.
That's hot.
When you can hit .500 and your average drops, you're doing something right. No balls and 1 strike. Nieves comes in with a strike, 1-1. Evans working the plate. Nick Bremigan is at first base. Al Clark at second. Darrell Cousins is over at third tonight. 2 balls and 1 strike. You can see a few empty seats here at Memorial Stadium, to be expected on a cool, perhaps later on a cold night. 2-1 from Nieves. 3 balls and a strike, missing inside.
There's a few empty seats.
More than a few. I think that is Jim Holmes' sense of humor showing. Jim Holmes, our fine producer-director. This one will twist foul after an ooh and an ah from the crowd. Knight's hot streak is one of, if not the hottest ever at the start of a season by an Oriole. He came over, Mike, and said his main concern was to be accepted by the Oriole fans. Do you suppose that he is being accepted?
I think the .571 start doesn't hurt. Well, you know, this ball club really, since Doug DeCinces headed to California, has been in search of a third baseman. A lot of talk about moving Ripken from short to third and finding a shortstop, but I think Knight is going to fill that void. And, of course, the other thing that they were looking for in the offseason was an everyday catcher. And they got Terry Kennedy from San Diego.
Here's the payoff pitch. Outside, and Knight walks. The first walk given up by Juan Nieves.
But I think for the Orioles, Jim, their biggest question mark is their pitching staff. You know, and that was never a question mark with the Orioles for as long as I can remember. They've always had strong pitching staffs. But McGregor and Flanagan aren't getting any younger. They've got to be a bit of a question. Kenny Dixon, can he do it all year? Don Ossie is now on the DL, went on today.
A ball up to designated hitter Lee Lacy, 1 for 3 in the series. He made a pinch hit appearance last night and was retired.
Ossie with tendonitis in his right shoulder, and that is going to hurt.
2 balls and no strikes. Well, one of the things the Orioles did very well over the offseason, as you pointed out, was fill the holes. They filled the hole at third, the hole behind the plate, and they didn't do too badly at second base with Burleson. There's a strike called on the outside corner. 2 balls and 1 strike. They are still looking for a leadoff hitter, though. Alan Wiggins has been doing a pretty good job, but he's not in the lineup tonight. Swing and a miss by Lacy. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, with Ray Knight, the base runner, at first.
Well, I think the fellow that they're counting on to contribute to this staff is the youngster Eric Bell, a left-hander out of the Scott McGregor mold. He's not a hard thrower, but he's got good poise, good control, command of his pitches.
The 2-2. Hit hard, left field, but it has right at Jim Paciorek. So Nieves gets out of the inning. A great catch by Paciorek, and he makes the third out as well. Still no score after 2 in Baltimore. You're on the Milwaukee Brewers Television Network. Schroeder to lead off the third, and here's Mike.
Okay, Jim, it will be Schroeder, Gantner, and then back to the top of the order, and Paul Molitor against lefty Mike Flanagan. And Schroeder hits the first pitch in foul territory. Eddie Murray over and makes the catch. So 1 pitch, 1 out.
Batting ninth, second baseman, number 17, Jim Gantner.
And that will bring Jim Gantner to the plate. Gantner last night hit his first home run of the year and lifts a fly ball to center field. 2 pitches, 2 outs. Now can you see why strike 1 is the best pitch in baseball?
Yes. Why do your innings always go so quickly?
I don't know.
Third baseman, Paul Molitor.
Well, as Paul Molitor comes to the plate, he is the captain of the Pepsi fan club. So let me pass along some information sent to us by John Council. A lot of demand in the last couple of days for sign-ups. And tomorrow at County Stadium between 3 o'clock and 7 o'clock at the ticket booths, you can sign up in person. This will be the last opportunity to get a Pepsi Fan Club membership. Only cash or checks will be accepted, and you can get all that the Pepsi Fan Club has to offer, as this one is tapped at the plate. Tickets to 6 Brewer games, a nylon duffel bag, a subscription to What's Brewing magazine, The fan club costs $9 for kids age 16 and under, and that is the best deal in town. So you can take advantage of that tomorrow. The Brewers off tomorrow, but will open a weekend series with the Rangers on Friday night, a twilight game. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Paulie. Teddy Higuera will go for his 3rd victory on Friday night. Bill Wakeman on Saturday, and then Mike Birkbeck on Sunday, those afternoon games. It will be Mason, Witt, and Guzman for the Texas Rangers. And that Friday game starts at 6 o'clock. So it should be a good weekend of baseball out at County Stadium. Hope the rain is cleared out. It's heading this way, I know that. Paulie on with a base on balls. That is the first walk issued by Flanagan.
Second fielder, Robin Young.
Make that the second walk. He walked Brock back in the 2nd inning. Neither team has a base hit. The Brewers have been averaging double figures in base hits and just over 7 runs a game. There's the first hit. Robin found the hole between Knight and Ripken. So the Brewers with runners at first and second.
Robin hit 84 points higher against right-handers than left-handers last year, but this time he takes the left-hander Flanagan through the left side between Knight and Ripken. Runners at first and second with 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd.
Bragg's a strikeout victim back in the 1st, and he lets it a ball away. Mike Flanagan out of Manchester, New Hampshire. As we said, Cy Young winner when he won 23 ball games. Back in 1979. But he has had his share of injuries. He's been on the disabled list 3 times the last 4 seasons. He's had arm problems, tore an Achilles tendon playing basketball in the offseason. 1-1 pitch to Braggs. Nice stop by Rayford. Breaking ball in the dirt.
He's been very tough in this situation. 2 outs with runners in scoring position, Mike. Over the last 3 years, I think his opponent batting average in that situation is right around 200. So he's been tough. He doesn't allow too many people to come in from second base and third base with 2 outs.
Well, Flanagan steps off as Burleson had tried to sneak in behind Molitor at second. Outfield straight away for Braggs. And the 2-1 pitch gets away from Rayford. The runners will advance. So Molitor to third. Yount to second. And now Braggs could score 2 runs on a base hit. We will see how that is scored. I'd have to call it a pass ball. It will go as a pass ball charged to Rayford. That ball wasn't in the dirt. In fact, Rayford backhanded it. It looked like it handcuffed him. So the count full now to Braggs, 3-2. Cooper waiting on deck. Strike 3 call. He got Braggs looking at a fastball away. So for the Brewers here in the third, no runs, 1 hit. They leave 2. And we go to the bottom of the third with the score, Milwaukee nothing, Baltimore nothing, on the Brewer Television Network. John Shelby will lead it off for Baltimore in the third. Shelby, Rayford, and Gerhardt, 8, 9, and 1.
Your attention, please. For the Orioles, batting 8, the right fielder, number 37, John Shelby.
Shelby, a switch hitter, batting right-handed against Nieves. 0 for 2 in this series. He didn't play last night. Struck out twice in the opening game.
Shelby, one of those players who hits better on the road than he does at home, Mike.
Lays down a good bunt. Could be trouble. Foul ball. If that ball had stayed on the grass, I don't think that Schroeder would have been able to throw Shelby out. Pretty good bunt right here, but it had that spin. You can see it. And it rolled right on the lip of the grass and into foul territory. Threw it right by him, did Nieves. Strikeout number 2 for Juan.
Batting 9, the catcher, number 6.
Juan looks like he's throwing very hard tonight. Here's another look. Right on by John Shelby. So Nieves has struck out 2 and walked 1. And Floyd Rayford makes his first appearance at the plate in 1987. Terry Kennedy had done all of the catching for the Orioles until tonight, getting a rest against the left-hander. There's a strike, 0-2.
Mike, I just noticed on Shelby's bunt. See the grass, how close it is to the line?
Yep.
That's the same as it is at County Stadium. There you see the scores this afternoon. Boston beating Texas. Minnesota, a winner.
Oh, pretty good catch in the stands. Guy brought a glove with him.
When you see that grass right up on the line, the infield grass, that tells you that a team likes to bunt. California with a shutout in Seattle.
Dewey Evans, a grand slam home run that game in Boston. His 3rd career grand slam. And the Rangers continue to have their problems.
Well, Kirby Puckett did not hit a home run for Minnesota today, which is news in its own right. But he did get the game-winning RBI. Off to a fine start again this year, Kirby Puckett.
Well, you think about leadoff hitters around the league, and Ricky Henderson, Molitor, Puckett, they can do some damage in a lot of ways. A ball and 2 strikes to Rayford. Rayford has played some third base to go along with his ability to catch. Fisted with the fastball, popped behind third. Swaim is there, and there are 2 out. Tell you, on a cold night like tonight, both Nieves and Flanagan are going with that hard stuff, and they've already got themselves about 3 or 4 bats. Puckett went 2 for 5 this afternoon with a pair of runs batted in. He has been red hot, as Jim said. Off to that good start. Smithson the winner. And Dave Stewart took the loss for Oakland.
Puckett leads the American League with 5 home runs. Rob Deere has 4.
Hit the air deep to left field. If it's fair, it's a foul ball. Just foul. That ball was hit high and deep. Third base umpire Darrell Cousins making the call. And that was way back. Foul back. Nieves ahead, a ball and 2 strikes.
Mike, the 3 winning pitchers this afternoon are now 2-0. Bruce Hurst for Boston. Smithson is 2-0 for Minnesota. And McCaskill for California, all 2-0.
McCaskill had his stuff together today. 9 innings, he struck out 9, gave up just 4 base hits and only walked a batter. 1-2 pitch, and Juan misses high. The Indians out in front of New York, 3-0. In the 4th inning, Scott Bales against Rick Rhoden. Mel Hall has homered in that game. White Sox, Blue Jays, no score in the 3rd. De Leon against Steve. Full count. And that's way outside. A 2-out base on balls to Gerhardt. And that will bring up Rick Burleson. Nieves has now walked 2, struck out 2. Burleson broke in with the Boston Red Sox. Went over to California and signed with the Orioles as a free agent in the offseason. Check of the runner, and the pitch is a strike on the outside corner. Little delayed call there by Jim Evans. Outfield shades Burleson toward right. Nieves working on a little more consistency in his delivery. There's a breaking ball upstairs. Talking to Chuck Hartenstein about that after his last ball game, and he could never seem to get into a consistent delivery where he was throwing the ball from the same place all the time, kind of drifting toward home plate, and he's doing it again right now, leaving the ball up in the strike zone. A little chilly out there tonight, too. It might be kind of tough to get the feel of the seams on the baseball. But Nieves behind in the count, 3-1. He has already walked Gerhardt. Fouled back. So a full count. Brock has moved behind the runner. So Gerhardt will be off and running on the pitch. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 out. Strike 3. He got him swinging at a high fastball. The 3rd strikeout for Nieves. And for the Orioles here in the 3rd inning, a walk and they leave 1 after 3. The score remains 0-0 on the Brewer Television Network. Top of the fourth inning from Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. The Brewers looking to start this 1987 season with 9 straight. We go to the fourth, and there's no score. It will be Cooper, Swaim, and Brock. Coop still looking for his first base hit here in the early going, and looks at a breaking ball low and away. Cooper now 0 for 8. Good fastball that time from Flanagan. And this is a little bit of a different look from Flanagan than what we've seen, Jim, in the past couple of years. Again, he hasn't thrown that real big breaking ball. He's thrown a couple to left-handers, but basically stayed with the hard stuff, and he does it again. And Cooper retired. That throw got away from Ripken, but a good stretch by Eddie Murray. And there's one out. Along our network tonight, of course, our flagship station, WVTV, Super 18 in Milwaukee, WMSN TV 47 in Madison, WGBA TV 26 in Green Bay, and WLAX Channel 25 in La Crosse. Hope you're enjoying the telecast tonight. We'll be off for the next 3 days, but back with you from Chicago starting on Monday night. Hit in the air, left field, over toward the line, and at the wall, and gone. Home run for Dale Swaim, and the Brewers lead 1-0. Boy, what more can this guy do? He has now hit in 9 straight. That is his first home run of the year. But he has now driven home 9 and came into the night hitting .433. Here's another look. Fastball inside, and that short porch down there, it's only 309 feet down the line. You see the left fielder Gerhardt going back, and that ball hit about 5 rows deep. So the Brewers take a 1-0 lead. That's the second base hit off Flanagan. And Greg Brock wrapped one around the foul pole and left last night. You got to play the elements, huh?
I guess so.
Use the short porch.
Swaim hit 7 home runs last year. This is his first. And he has now driven in runs in 7 consecutive games to go along with his 9-game hitting streak.
And his outstanding fielding. Here's a look at what we have coming up for you on the Brewer Television Network in April. The 3 games from Chicago. Hung a slider and it was hit hard, but right at Murray, who digs it out and takes it himself for out number 2. Brock hit the ball hard, but right at Eddie Murray.
Left fielder, Jim Pachorik.
Pachorik 0 for 1. He's made a nice play in left field, made a diving catch off the bat of Eddie Murray, and Flanagan misses low and away. On the 27th and 28th, we'll be in California, and then on the 29th, we'll have the ball game from Oakland. So that's what the rest of the month looks like as we follow the Brewers through the 1987 season.
And May starts out with a series up in the Kingdome in Seattle. The first Western swing of the year.
Low a ball, 2 balls and 1 strike to Jim Pachorik. Caught a look at his brother Mike today. Did you happen to see the movie back at the hotel, Brewster's Millions?
Yes.
Mike Pachorik played a bit part. Jimmy said he's done some little movie stuff. Of course, his brother Tom is quite an entertainer. Good swing, but fouled it back. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
4 Pechoric boys have played in the major leagues. John has an interesting record. He played in 1 game with the Houston Colt 45s.
Third base on balls given up by Flanagan, and Pechoric at first with 2 out.
John Pechoric went 3 for 3 in his 1 and only major league game, and that is a record. Of course, there have been players to go 1 for 1, but no one has ever had that many hits in just 1 major league game. So John Pechoric holds a record with the Houston Colt 45s, and that's kind of an interesting situation. 1 game and 3 for 3 with, I think, a couple of RBI in that game, too.
And the reason that he never played in the big leagues again, he had a back problem that curtailed his career.
The whole Pechoric family was in Texas over the weekend.
They are big. They are all huge.
In size and number.
Yes. Billy Schroeder 0 for 1 as you get a look at Pechoric's lead and the throw by Flanagan. Jimmy back easily.
I think there's another brother and 2 sisters, right? I believe.
I think you're right. Count even. 1 ball and 1 strike to Billy Schroeder. Billy played a lot of amateur ball around this area. He was born in Baltimore. How do they say it here? Balmer, right? Balmer. It's like Milwaukee. The whole middle of it is erased somehow.
Start and finish, that's all it takes.
You get the idea. 1-2 count to Schroeder. Hit in the air, right field line. Burleson going out, and Shelby coming on to make the catch. That retires the Brewers here in the 4th, but they come up with a run on Swaim's solo home run. They leave one, and we go to the bottom of the 4th with the score: Milwaukee 1 and Baltimore 0 on the Brewer Television Network. Juan Nieves finishing his warm-up pitches as we go to the bottom of the 4th, and Juan now staked to a 1-0 lead on Dale Swaim's first home run of the year back in the top of the 4th. Milwaukee area Super 18 viewers, one of the best music videos of 1986. Find out when host Casey Kasem, Sherry Belafonte Harper, and Graham Nash bring you the 5th annual American Video Awards on Wednesday, April 16th at 8 p.m. here on Super 18. Ripken fly to center his first time up and looks at a breaking ball down low. Nieves has struck out 3 and walked 2, and that has been it for the Orioles. Swing and a miss. Good fastball again by Juan Nieves. Outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Nieves looking for victory number 2. Last year, 11-12. A changeup misses high. 3-1 the count. Ripken now 3 for 9 in this series with 3 runs batted in. Line to Molitor. Ripken hit it well, but right at Paul Molitor for out number 1. Ball down and in. Boy, you can see him just drop ahead of the bat on the ball, and Paulie with 2 steps to his right to make the catch.
He really went down and got that pitch. And Molitor had him positioned very well. One out here in the Oriole fourth inning. And Eddie Murray steps in.
Good cut of the fastball. Boy, he had home run cut right there. That fastball, middle of the plate in. Murray was retired on a great play in the outfield by Jimmy Paciorek back in the second inning. Paciorek made a diving catch. Changeup, good pitch, and had Murray fooled. One out ahead, no balls and 2 strikes.
How important it would be for that young man to win number 9 for the Brewers tonight. That would give him a great shot of confidence.
1-2 to Murray. Well, he came out a little shaky against Texas. He was staked to that 8-run lead. He had to wait about a half an hour before he took the mound. In fact, he got up in the bullpen and threw again before coming into the ball game. Is that Bob Uecker? He doesn't get those good of seats, does he? Foul back.
That looks like something he might wear, though. I think he's working tonight.
But Juan got off to a kind of a shaky start in that ball game, had an 8-run lead. Pitching much, much better here tonight. Fouled straight back, and the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Murray has 32 career home runs against Brewer pitching. Broke into the big leagues back in 1978. We were talking about that opening series against the Orioles when we were in Texas back in '78. Eddie Murray was a third baseman in the opener. He was a young phenom in their organization, and he was a guy that really didn't have a position.
The Brewers smoked the Orioles that day, 11-3. The thing most people remember about that opener was Gorman Thomas going 0 for 4 and then coming back the next day and hitting a grand slam.
This one right up the chute. And Schroeder with the mask off and makes the catch. Again, that wind brought the ball back. Nice play by Billy Schroeder to stay with it and hang on.
Murray gets under it, and every high pop-up on the right side tonight has had this reaction. Out and then back in. Of course, the wind is blowing the ball back toward the field, blowing right to left tonight at Memorial Stadium.
And blowing pretty hard, I would suspect, about 15 miles an hour. You see that little drizzle on the center field camera. Popped up. Short right field. Yount coming on. Bragg's coming on. It'll be Robin to make the play. So the Orioles go down in order here in the fourth inning. Nieves has retired 6 in a row. After 4, the Brewers lead 1-0 on the Brewer Television Network. In the top of the 5th for Milwaukee, Gantner, Molitor, and Yount against Mike Flanagan. Brewers lead 1-0. And stepping back in, here's Jim Paschke.
Thank you, Mike. Jim Gantner flied out in the third inning, flied out to Freddie Lynn in center field. Facing Flanagan, leading off the Brewer 5th. Pitch down and swung at and missed by Gantner. Dale Swaim with a home run in the 4th inning. And the Brewers lead 1-0. Gantner squares to bunt. No contact with the bat, so the count now is 1-1. A note to pass along to a lot of Brewer fans. Former Brewer pitcher Pete Ladd was signed by the Dodger organization yesterday. Gantner pops this one up. Ripken and Knight are back, and Knight makes the play in foul territory, so Gantner is retired here in the 5th. Peter Ladd signed by the Dodgers, and he will be assigned to their Albuquerque Farm Club in the Pacific Coast League. Jaime Kokenauer, a former Brewer, has also with that Albuquerque club. One down in the fifth for Paul Molitor. Paul walked in the third inning. Made his way all the way around to third base, but he was stranded along with Robin Yount in the inning. Flanagan comes in and misses inside and low. 1 ball and no strikes. There you see the mist, actually. It really is not apparent to the naked eye here. You can tell that it is just barely sprinkling, but so far it has not interrupted the ball game. 2 balls and no strikes to Molitor. Flanagan throws heat. Molitor pops it up to center field, and Fred Lynn makes the putout. Molitor hits in the air to Lynn in center, and there are 2 away in the Brewer fifth. Robin Yount comes up. Robin is 1 for 2 tonight with a single back in the third inning. 13 teams in this century have started the season 8-0. Of course, we went over the records for you last night. In case you missed it, Atlanta had the best start, 13-0. These are modern day starts. That was in 1982. Oakland was 11-0 in 81. And teams with 10-0 starts, as Yount grounds to Knight. He makes the play, and the Brewers are out of the inning. 1-2-3 for Flanagan and the Orioles after 4.5. The Brewers lead Baltimore 1-0. You're on the Milwaukee Brewers television network.
Ooh.
That was a close play.
Very close play. Robin might have had it beat out.
Well, umpire Nick Bremigan called that an out, and it retired the Brewers in the fifth. It's time to suit up with Cons starting April 20th, and throughout our telecast season we will announce winners in the Suit Up with Cons contest. Stop in at any Cons store to enter, and you can win a $100 gift certificate and 4 Brewer tickets. Ray Knight to lead off the fifth for the Orioles. Continuing the point I was talking, Mike, about the teams with hot starts, just reiterating those. Atlanta 13-0, Oakland 11-0, and 3 teams started 10-0, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and the Brooklyn Dodgers. Cleveland in 66, Pittsburgh 62, and the Brooklyn Dodgers way back in 1955. Juan Nieves has been looking pretty good against the Orioles tonight. As Mike told you, he has retired 6 of the last 7 he has faced. Knight fouls back the first pitch, 0-1. Did you see Bo Jackson last night?
I saw the highlight tapes.
He scored a touchdown and an extra point for the Kansas City Royals.
On his own. Boy, he had quite a night, didn't he?
A 3-run homer and a grand slam. Knight takes a strike, so Nieves is ahead in the count, 0-2. That was a pretty good pitch he hit for the grand slam.
Fastball at the knees away, and he took it to the opposite field.
You think he can play baseball?
Right now he can.
Nieves looking in at the side from Bill Schroeder. And Knight takes outside for a ball. Bo Jackson leads the American League with 11 RBI to Rob Deere's, I should say 13 to Rob Deere's 11. And he got 7 of them in one game, 2 at bats. The 1-2 pitch from Nieves. Fouled back.
Just looking at his size, Bo Jackson, 6'1", 222 pounds.
A lot of that weight is in the legs, the thighs.
A couple of Brewer fans.
Well, right now they are enjoying a 1-0 Milwaukee lead here in the fifth inning. The 1-2 pitch taken for a ball, so the count is even. Ray Knight, the World Series MVP, and right now he is the MVP in the hearts of Oriole fans with his start. Fouled back again. Knight is really, in a sense, playing hurt. He's still having problems with the kidney stones. He had an attack during spring training, and he is still bothered by that. That's not bad. Hit .571 with kidney stones. 2 balls, 2 strikes. No outs. Upstairs with a breaking pitch. So the count is full.
Didn't really get good downward motion on that breaking pitch. He kind of worked under it a little bit, dropped that elbow, and that ball hung up in the strike zone.
This may drop. Now Pachorik comes on and makes the catch. It looked like it might fall in for Ray Knight, but there is one away here in the Oriole 5th inning.
Designated hitter, Lee Lacy.
Designated hitter Lee Lacy steps in. He was retired on a fly ball in the 2nd inning. Baltimore had excellent success in the DH slot last year. Oriole designated hitters led the league with a .298 average. Strike one on the foul ball. But the Orioles had trouble finding a batting order that worked last year. 141 different lineups. 9 leadoff hitters. Not to mention their 10 third basemen. You were talking about that earlier. The number of third basemen since the Sensei, 19. How about 27 since Brooks Robinson?
Take all 27 to fill his shoes.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. So the count is 2-1 to Lacy. Cal Ripken Sr. Three balls and a strike. Do they call their managers something different here in Baltimore?
Here in Baltimore, they call them head coaches.
Lacy walks. Well, they used to play football here. That's the 3rd walk given up by Nieves. The 3rd Oriole to reach first base tonight. And now we will see John Shelby. Shelby went down on strikes in the 3rd. And he went down swinging.
Yeah, when George Bamberger managed over here and Frank Howard was a coach, he was the executive coach.
Ball hit to left. Pachorik is going to have to go some for this one. And it is foul. Just barely. Now, there is not much room. That's how much room there is. So that ball found 2 feet between the line and the wall.
Pachorik over to the line, and I think that ball actually, it might have hit up on that little platform up there, then came down. Yep.
That's an out.
Yep, doesn't count. There's a little platform there that is in foul territory. That's a little tool shed, I believe, down in the corner.
The 1 strike pitch to Shelby misses. 1 ball and 1 strike. I would think that is difficult for a left fielder, and on the other side, the right fielder, to get up a full head of steam when you're looking at that wall right there, 1.5 feet outside the foul line. 2 strikes now to Shelby. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Lee Lacy on first base. I mentioned Peter Ladd signing with the Dodger organization. Bob Horner left Major League Baseball today. He signed with the Yakult Swallows over in Japan, so he won't be playing with the Braves this year. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to John Shelby, the right fielder.
Well, and Juan has had problems getting that breaking ball down into the strike zone, particularly in this inning. And you can see Billy Schroeder tell him to tuck that front shoulder down in order to get on top and get good downward action, because you want to establish that you can get that other pitch over so that they can't just sit on your fastball.
The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. And Shelby is down on strikes. The fourth strikeout, all swinging tonight for Juan Nieves.
And that's the second time that Shelby has gone down, and Nieves has just challenged him with the fastball and thrown it right by him. He hasn't caught up with one yet. But there are a couple other guys in this lineup that you don't want to let them go up there and just sit on that heat. Talking about Murray and Ripken, Burleson.
This is Floyd Rayford. A smash to Molitor and a nice catch at third. The Brewers are out of the inning. Juan Nieves allows no hits in the inning. He gives up a walk. The Brewers still lead 1-0 here on the Brewers Television Network. Take a look at the catch by Molitor off the smash by Rayford to end the Orioles' fifth inning.
Nice play by Paulie. He was playing Rayford fairly deep, so that gave him a little better angle on the ball. And again, Nieves got that off-speed pitch, a changeup high in the strike zone.
Well, it's time to announce tonight's contestant for the Rally Inning Contest. Tonight, Mary Giroux of Madison wins a Brewer warm-up jacket just for sending in a postcard, and now has a chance to win the VIP treatment package at County Stadium if the Brewers score during the seventh inning. So Mary Giroux of Madison, next inning is your inning. Starting off the sixth now, Glenn Bragg, Cecil Cooper, and Dale Swaim to face Mike Flanagan, who has given up a run on 2 hits tonight against the Brewers. Glenn Bragg has struck out twice. The count is even now at 1 ball and 1 strike. All this guy has to do is hit balls where people aren't.
He's been hitting them hard right at somebody up until tonight. You're right.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
Flanagan is the type of guy, though, that could give somebody like Braggs a lot of trouble. He moves the ball around in the strike zone. He throws pretty hard and works the corners very well.
He works Braggs outside, so the count is even at 2-2. He went for a bad pitch. 3 strikeouts for Glenn Braggs tonight. All swinging.
Off-speed pitch. That's what I was talking about. He changes speeds. Braggs was looking for something inside. He went with the breaking ball over the outside corner and really had Braggs reaching.
Strikeout number 4 for Mike Flanagan. And now he faces Cecil Cooper and comes in high for ball 1. Cecil has grounded out twice. I mentioned that Flanagan is tough on left-handed hitters. Last year he only gave up 1 home run to a left-handed hitter. 1 ball and 1 strike. Greg Walker tagged him, but that was it. He calls his changeup a batting practice fastball. Flanagan working Cooper up and has him down 1-2 in the count.
Of course, that's probably about 65 miles an hour, and if he's throwing that fastball 87, 88, there's about 20 miles an hour difference.
And that's enough.
Well, Flanagan McGregor, Boddicker, they're all pretty much out of the same mold. They really work the corners of the plate very well. When they make a mistake, it's not usually toward the middle, it's off the plate.
And Flanagan gets Cecil Cooper to reach for a pitch. 2 straight strikeouts on breaking balls.
That's one of the few big, slow curveballs that he's thrown tonight. I think he's thrown a couple others to the left-handers, to Brock and Gantner. He hasn't shown it too much to righties, but look at how far he had Coop fooled, looking for the hard stuff.
Dale Swaim homered for the only run in the ball game back in the 4th inning. His first of the year for the Milwaukee Brewers. Dale has hit in every ball game so far. 2 balls, no strikes now from Flanagan.
A couple of keys to a pitch like that. First of all, location. You saw where it was. And the other thing is same delivery, same arm action. You really have that hitter fooled. A lot of guys, when they throw the big off-speed pitch or the changeup, they'll do something different in their delivery to tip it off. But Flanagan made an outstanding pitch to Cooper.
And he comes in with off-speed for a strike. 3 balls and a strike. Swaim walks. That is the 4th walk given up by Flanagan tonight. So Dale is aboard for the 2nd time in the ball game, and now we'll get a look at Greg Brock, who walked back in the 2nd before grounding out on a smash to Eddie Murray at first base in the 4th inning. Greg trying to prolong a career-tying 7-game hitting streak. The drizzle seems to have dissipated here. It has not interrupted the game at all. Flanagan goes over to first base. He has a pretty good pickoff move.
That wasn't his good one either. That was just to show him a little move to get him back. If he sees Swaim off a little further, he'll give him the good one. Dale doesn't have a real big lead.
The count is even 1-1 to Greg Brock with 2 outs, and Swaim on first base. Well, Flanagan has picked off, at least coming into the season, has picked off 60 base runners. Greg Brock showing a good eye. 2 balls and a strike now.
Most left-handers in their pickoff delivery, Jim, when they look to first, they're usually going home. When they look home, they're usually coming to first base. That obviously could vary.
Hit in the air, right field. Shelby is back and has room. And the Brewers are retired in the 6th. They strand 1 and still lead 1-0. You're on the Brewers Television Network. The top of the order to face Juan Nieves in the Orioles 6th inning. Ken Gerhardt, Rick Burleson, and Cal Ripken. Gerhardt has reached on a walk in the 3rd. Juan Nieves gets that first pitch strike to lead off the 6th.
That's the best breaking ball that he's thrown in a couple of innings, and he really did keep that front shoulder tucked that time. I'm sure he had a conversation with Chuck Hartenstein between innings. Constant adjustment is this game.
The 1-1 inside, swung at and missed. A good pitch.
Good heater, good fastball.
Gerhardt back in the lineup after a night off last night. He got him. He went around. Strikeout for Juan Nieves to lead off the 6th inning. And that is strikeout number 5 for Nieves. A pitch down in the zone, and Gerhardt went fishing for it.
What a difference when he gets that good tight rotation on the breaking ball. You'll get another look at it right here. Watch that ball go down and in.
Burleson steps in. Burleson 0 for 11 in this series with 2 strikeouts tonight. And he is behind 0-1 to Juan Nieves, who is working quickly and confidently here in the 6th. A pitch in to even the count. Well, it will be good to get back home. Hit foul. A screamer down the line.
See, that was well hit, but where it was located in the strike zone, in order to get the head of the bat out and get the good wood on it, he had to hook it foul. He couldn't put it in fair territory. So as well as that ball was hit, it was almost impossible to hit fair. Watch where this ends up, and watch how he has to really get the head of the bat out. He cannot hit that ball fair on the good part of the bat.
Nieves coming in 1-2. Up and in, so it's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Rick Burleson. Tomorrow, of course, the annual Association of Commerce luncheon in Milwaukee to welcome the Milwaukee Brewers, and that should be particularly delightful this year. Fly ball, center field. Yount is camped under it, and there are 2 away here in the 6th for Juan Nieves. And then the Texas Rangers come in Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I haven't been doing this long enough to know. Is that enough time to do the laundry and get ready to go again?
Just about.
Cal Ripken. Jim Holmes. That's good. That's good. He said it depends on how many times you change clothes on the road. Well, it's going to take me a long time to do my laundry, I'll tell you that. Oh, boy. 1 ball and 1 strike, 2 outs here in the 6th.
I tell you, if you were Frank Howard, 24 hours would be enough.
I've known guys in sports who travel with a toothbrush in their coat pocket, and that's it.
Well, that's what we're talking about. We had last year in Seattle, we went into Seattle for a 3-game series, and Frank came back to the hotel the second night, went to his room, and somebody was in there. Came downstairs and said, "What's going on?" They said, "We thought you'd checked out. There were no bags, no clothes, no nothing."
But he had his toothbrush. Ripken. It's in the air. Braggs is there, and it's a 1-2-3 6th inning for Juan Nieves. We have a good one going in Baltimore. The Brewers lead 1-0 on the Milwaukee Brewers television network.
Mike Flanagan, Juan Nieves hooked up in a pretty good pitcher's battle here tonight. As we go to the 7th, the Brewers leading 1-0. Jim Paciorek and Bill Schroeder loosening up on deck. And this is the rally inning. Mary Giroux of Madison has already won a warm-up jacket. And if the Brewers score here in the 7th, she will win a VIP treatment package as well. We had a winner last night. Paciorek is 0 for 1. He has flied out and walked, looking for his first base hit of the season, and takes a strike. In the dirt, gets away from Rayford, and the count even, 1 ball and 1 strike. Schroeder and Gantner to follow. Lone run in this ball game. Dale Swaim solo homer in the 4th, and this one fouled off the fist and back out of play. Doug Elsesser from Sussex here tonight. Enjoying the ball game. Wants to say hello to friends back home. Jason and Wayne Lone of Brown Deer also here. 1-2 pitch. Outside. Count even. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Off day tomorrow, then a 3-game weekend series with the Rangers. Beginning Friday night at County Stadium at twilight. 2-2 pitch. Down low. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And a reminder tomorrow, if you'd still like to join the Pepsi Fan Club, you can do it in person at County Stadium between 3 and 7 o'clock at the stadium ticket booths. Hit in the air, right field, deep. Going back is Shelby, and this ball is off the wall. Pachurik launched his footing going around first. The throw to second, not in time. Oh boy. Pachurik stumbled, I believe, over the bag. But when that ball hit the wall, I looked down to see where Pachurik was, and he was on the ground. He recovered and just did beat the throw into second base. He hit the ball well to the opposite field, sending Shelby back to the wall. That ball missing a home run by just about 3 feet. And Pachurik had to scramble back to his feet and just did beat the throw to second base. That's his first major league base hit. So a leadoff double for Pachurik. And it brings Bill Schroeder to the plate. Schroeder with a bunt attempt, a good one. Eddie Murray fields the ball and they'll have no play. Nobody covered first. Flanagan slow getting over there. An infield base hit for Bill Schroeder. And you won't see too often Bill Schroeder get a bunt single. But he did it right here. Flanagan breaking off the mound the opposite way. Murray converges on the ball. And he made the throw. Actually, if he would have turned and thrown to Burleson, he might have had a play. He was going to shovel it to Flanagan. And Schroeder, with good hustle, beats the play with no throw. So runners at first and third, and nobody out. Jim Gantner, the hitter. He has flied to center and popped to short. Ball gets away from Rayford, but he'll have to hold Pachurik. Boy, Rayford has boxed around a few back there tonight, hasn't he? That's one reason that you don't see him in there every day.
Well, he played third base last year, too, and had a problem with the glove at third. He is not what you would call a defensive specialist.
One ball and no strikes, with runners at first and third and nobody out. Strike call. Fill you in a little bit more on that Pepsi Fan Club deal. 3 to 7 tomorrow. And you can get in on all the things that are available to the fan club members. 6 Brewer tickets, tickets to 6 Brewer games, that is. A nylon duffel bag, a subscription to What's Brewing. And the fan club cost is $9. 16 and under, kids 16 and under are eligible. Big breaking ball. Misses. 2 balls and a strike to Jim Gantner. He is 1 for 7 in this series. Homered last night. 2-1 pitch. Hit in the air, short left field. Coming on is Gerhardt. Pachurik will tag, but he's going to stay as the throw comes in. That ball hit to short left field, and no chance for Pachurik to score, especially with nobody out. There's another look. You can see both the fielder and the runner. Good camera shot right there.
The applause you heard was perhaps a bit cynical because Gerhardt made the catch.
Cal Ripken out to the mound. Back to the top of the order now, Molitor and Yount, and we'll see if Ripken decides to make a change. I believe Dave Schmidt is warming up in the bullpen, but he will go with Mike Flanagan. Flanagan has pitched himself a pretty good ball game, but Nieves has done him better. Well, Tom Trebelhorn has done a lot of things in spring training, and even last year he has worked the squeeze play, moved the runners along. Let's see what he does with Molitor up there. Runners at first and third, and one out now, and a call strike. Tony Muser at third base giving the signs to Molitor. Pachorik at third, Schroeder at first.
And Ray Knight just gave directions to his infielders. He has a defensive play in mind.
Outside.
Or at least a reaction to what can happen in this situation.
Paulie has hit in 7 of 8 ball games this year, and he has had 6 multi-hit games, so he's been hot. Came in hitting it over 400. He is 0 for 2 tonight. Throw to first. Down low, 2 balls and 1 strike. So Flanagan working very carefully here to Molitor. Again, checking the signs with third base coach Tony Muser. Line drive, left field, base hit. Pachorik will score. Schroeder heading for third. The ball gets by Gerhardt. Schroeder will try to score. Here comes the throw. Not in time, and the Brewers lead 3-0. A double for Molitor. And I believe he's going to be credited with 2 RBIs. He hit it well, that ball out over the plate. Gerhardt playing him off the line. And that ball will go down into the corner here, and he can't cut it off before it gets to the wall. It takes the bad bounce away from him. Pachorik scores easily, and Schroeder lumbering home all the way from first base. Boy, Billy has had a busy inning. Well, they're gonna make it 1 RBI and charge Gerhardt with an error. So Molitor credited with 1 RBI. That'll be all for Flanagan. We've got a pitching change coming here, and we'll be back after these messages on the Brewer Television Network. Well, we are back, and Dave Schmidt taking his warm-up tosses. Congratulations to Mary Giroux of Madison for winning a Brewer warm-up jacket and a VIP treatment package at County Stadium. Mary and 5 of her friends will see the Brewers take batting practice, then attend the game courtesy of Super 18 and Miller Lite.
Dave Schmidt faced the Brewers on Monday night in relief and pitched an inning and a third, giving up a run on 1 hit. There you see his numbers for the year. He has 6 strikeouts in 10 innings, 10 1/3. Schmidt throws a sinking fastball, and he has a palm ball.
Played out his option with the White Sox last year and signed as a free agent with the Orioles, and he could be the stopper with Ossie out on the disabled list. He'll face Robin Yount here. Line to right. Coming on is Shelby. He makes the catch, and getting back to the bag in time is Molitor. Nice play by Shelby on that sinking line drive off the bat of Yount. Molitor had taken a couple of steps off and just did get back.
Shelby with a good arm, and Molitor is back. head first.
We'll give you the ruling on that base hit by Molitor. He's credited with a double, but only one RBI, as an error was charged to Gerhardt when he misplayed the ball off the wall. So Schroeder scoring, and Molitor was not credited for driving him home.
Gerhardt has not done Flanagan any favors this year. In his previous start, Gerhardt misplayed a ball with the bases loaded. That led to 4 unearned runs. And tonight he has allowed Schroeder to score from first base on that misplayed ball.
Tap to second, Burleson to Murray, and that retires the side here in the 7th. But the Brewers come up with 2 runs on 3 base hits. There was 1 Oriole error and a man left. So we go to the bottom of the 7th with the score, Milwaukee 3 and the Orioles nothing, on the Brewer Television Network. Bottom of the 7th, the Brewers now lead it 3-0. Eddie Murray steps to the plate. And this crowd trying to get something going. They have done absolutely nothing against Juan Nieves tonight. Nieves has struck out 4 and walked 3. Murray up there for the 3rd time tonight. Nieves now behind, 2 balls and no strikes. Ball 3. Chris Bosio up in the pen.
Mark Clear is also well rested and could be available tonight, and the Brewers feel Dan Plesac could come back.
He walks Murray on 4 straight pitches. And Chuck Hartenstein quickly out to talk to the youngster. He says you've gone this far throwing away nice and free and easy. Don't tighten up now. Just trying to settle him down. Again, Jim, in this situation, you don't want to walk people on base. Lynn 0 for 2. That's 5 in a row.
Well, he's getting up in the zone. And as you mentioned last night, a 3-run lead in this ballpark is not that substantial against this team.
Popped up, and this will go back out of play behind home plate. Well, I think he came into this inning a little tight. High ball 2. Count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Brock and Murray talking things over down at first base. Schroeder set up away, and Nieves misses inside. Juan would like a new baseball and gets one from Jim Evans. Ray Knight waiting on deck. Again, Lynn gets a piece and fouls it back. Lynn took his first collar of the year last night. He's 0 for 2 tonight. 2-2 pitch. Line at Swain. Could be 2. Gantner on the relay. Double play. Double play. Swain to Gantner to Brock. Here's another look. Boy, Swain. That ball was hit sharply. He knocked it down, stayed in front of it, recovered, and the good relay from Gantner, and $50 from CarX to the MAC Fund for that Brewer double play. Thanks to CarX for putting the brakes on childhood cancer.
A great play by Swaim. He stayed with it, but if you want to turn a quick double play, the man to have is Gantner. He does an excellent job. You saw him make a great pivot, and the Brewers wipe off the runners.
Popped up. Swaim backpedaling, calls everybody off, and the Brewer is out of it here in the 7th. No runs, no hits, nobody left. Goose eggs for the Orioles after 7, and we'll be back on the Brewer Television Network. We go to the top of the 8th inning. Cecil Cooper to lead it off against Dave Schmidt. And stepping back in to bring you the rest of the way, here's Jim.
All right, Cooper, Swaim, and Brock to face Schmidt here in the Brewer 8th inning. Milwaukee leads the Orioles 3-0. Hit on the ground, base hit Cecil Cooper. First ball hitting, and Cooper reaches. That is hit number 7 for the Brewers.
And Coop's first base hit of the year.
Check that, hit number 6 for Milwaukee. 3 runs on 6 hits.
Took that ball inside out. Looked like a sinking fastball, middle in, and Cooper found the hole between short and third.
So the left-handed hitting Dale Swaim steps up. Dale put the Brewers on the board tonight with a home run in the 4th. He takes a strike. Colders will win one for the kids and Children's Hospital during Super 18 Brewer telecast this year. Each time the Brewers win a televised game, Colders will donate $100 to Children's Hospital of Wisconsin. A shutout, and Colders will donate $300. A no-hitter, $500. Swaim is behind in the count, 0-2. The Brewers are the best hitting team in the major leagues by 34 points, hitting .322. Cooper on first base, no outs. Up by 3 in the 8th. Swaim looks at a pitch outside. One and two. Cooper off first. Swaim hits behind the runner. This could go for extra bases. Cooper heads for third. Swaim will cruise in at second, and Cooper will be held at third base. So the Brewers have runners at second and third with no outs in the 8th inning. Dale Swaim on a 1-2 pitch over Murray right down the line for a double. He is 2 for 3 tonight, and Swaim continues to be the Brewers' big bat.
Well, a home run and a double for Dale Swaim. That was one of those palm balls that stayed up, and Swaim really turned on it, drilled it over the head of Murray down into the corner, and that'll bring the Oriole infield in.
For Greg Brock, who takes a ball from Dave Schmidt. Brock 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. He steps out. Cooper at third. Swaim at second. Off the plate inside. Two balls and no strikes. Two balls and one strike.
Oh,
Is hit hard. Forget about it. Greg Brock has his third home run of the season, his first to right field, and there was no question. Brock drives in three. Cooper to the plate. Swaim behind him. And Greg Brock tattooed that pitch from Dave Schmidt. It's 6-0 in the eighth. There was no question at all when that ball left the bat of Greg Brock.
Oh, he got it all, Jim. Right down in his wheelhouse. Thigh high, middle of the plate in, and he really gave it a ride high and deep into the night. And all of a sudden, the pitching battle has turned into a 6-0 Brewer lead.
Cooper to the plate. Greg Brock following Swaim. The Keystone Cops clear the bases. Paciorek on an 0-2 pitch. Grounds out to Ripken at short. And there is one away here in the Brewer eighth. 3 runs are in on a 3-run homer by Greg Brock, his third of the year. Brock now has 10 RBI. This is Bill Schroeder. Billy came up with a bunt single in the 7th inning. He takes a strike from Schmidt.
This crowd has gone silent, hasn't it?
Schroeder down the line. Knight with the backhand. He can't make the play. Schroeder rounds first, and he will dig for second. There'll be a play. Schroeder is safe. They have ruled it a hit, so Billy Schroeder has a double right through Knight at third base.
Well, Knight tried to take this ball on the backhand, and right off the webbing of the glove, that slowed it down. Schroeder going to go for 2 all the way. He showed us some wheels here tonight, hasn't he? Billy Schroeder, he's burning up the base paths.
Scoring from first earlier in the game, and now chugging out a double here in the eighth. 4 Brewer hits in the inning. 3 runs are in, and they lead the Orioles 6-0. And Schmidt will walk Jim Gantner to set up a double play situation with 1 out. Tony Arnold is warming up in the Oriole bullpen. Schmidt came on in the 7th and retired Yount and Braggs to get out of the inning, and then he ran into big trouble here in the 8th. That is the first intentional walk given up by Oriole pitching, the 5th walk overall. And now Dave Schmidt gets to face the top of the Brewer batting order, Paul Molitor. He doubled in the 7th inning to drive in a run. 2 runs scored on the play, but Gerhardt was charged with an error, so the 2nd run was unearned in the inning. Rayford sets up outside, and Schmidt delivers. Strike 1. The Brewers have won 11 straight ball games dating back to last year, trying to go 9-0 on the season, the only unbeaten team in baseball. Schmidt missing outside, so the count is even.
Yeah, the way they have done it, Jim, I just don't know any more ways to describe it. Everything has gone right.
There is magic in Milwaukee in the early going. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Runners at first and second.
They are swinging the bats. They're making the plays defensively.
Back up the middle. Schmidt goes to second and 2. They get the double play. Nicely done. 1-6-3. But the Brewers come up with 3 runs in the inning on 4 hits. And they lead the Orioles 6-0. You're on the Brewers Television Network. Juan Nieves heads into the Oriole half of the 8th inning with a 6-0 lead. And he will face the bottom of the Baltimore order. Lee Lacy, John Shelby, and Floyd Rayford are set to come to the plate here in the 8th. Juan Nieves has done a fine job tonight. He has gotten a reasonable percentage of first pitch strikes, settled down in the middle innings, and now he gets Lacy to fly to Braggs in right field, 1 away here in the 8th.
Well, Juan just has to stay. He really went away from himself a little bit in the 7th. Just get back into that groove that he was in the middle innings, where he had good command of that breaking ball. He's had Shelby so far tonight eating right out of his hand.
Missing inside. Shelby has struck out twice, both swinging in the 3rd and in the 5th innings. Everything seems to be working for Juan Nieves tonight. He has been able to place the fastball. He has used his slider and that slurve to good advantage here against the Orioles. And the bats have backed him up.
I'll tell you what, Shelby has not caught up with a good Nieves fastball all night. He has just pounded him with that heat.
The 1-2 from Nieves.
Got him.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Shelby goes down for the 3rd time swinging tonight. Strikeout number 6 by Nieves.
Right back to the fastball, and again, threw it by him. Shelby trying to cheat a little bit, looking for it inside where they've pounded him all night. Schroeder with a good call made that fastball away. Boo.
Rayford has popped up and lined to Molitor. Molitor has made a couple of fine defensive plays tonight. Nieves comes in low. Pitching, defense, and hitting. The Brewers have had it for 9 straight games. Ball hit to left. It is twisting foul into the upper deck. Rayford got plenty of that one. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fouled back. The infielder's back on the grass.
Ooh.
Schroeder thought he had a called 3rd, but the count is 2-2. That was close. Two outs. Fouled back. And Floyd Rayford stays alive. The Brewers scored a run in the fourth, 2 in the seventh, and 3 in the top of the eighth on a home run, a 3-run homer by Greg Brock, and they lead the Orioles 6-0. The 2-2 from Nieves. Swing and a miss. He got Rayford on strikes. Strikeout number 7 for Juan Nieves. After 8 innings in Baltimore, the Brewers lead the Orioles 6-0. You're on the Milwaukee Brewer Television Network. Robin Yount, Glenn Braggs, and Cecil Cooper to bat here in the top of the 9th inning for Milwaukee. Facing Dave Schmidt. Ball 1 to Robin Yount. Gifts and promotional considerations provided by Miller Lite. For great taste, there's only one light beer, Miller Lite, and by Conn's. Our wardrobes are provided by Conn's Clothing, Brookfield, Greenfield, and on the north side near Northridge. Robin Yount has a hit in 4 trips tonight. Takes a strike from Schmidt. The Brewers with a 6-0 lead on the Orioles. Going for 9 wins to start the season. Yount hits the 1-1 pitch to Freddie Lynn in center field, and there is 1 away in the top of the 9th inning. Glenn Braggs looking for his first hit tonight. Glenn struck out in his first 3 trips to the plate and then grounded out in the 7th inning. Schmidt comes in high and inside, ball 1. Fouled by Braggs. The count is even. We mentioned it at the top of our broadcast tonight. The Brewers are too presumptuous to be talking about brooms and sweeps, but they are in position now to sweep the Baltimore Orioles, adding to sweeps of Boston and Texas. A high chopper is foul. So the count remains 1-2. Dave Schmidt picking up that high hop in foul territory. This is the first game of the series in which Glenn Braggs has not punished the baseball. He hits this one deep to left center. Back at the wall, it is gone. A home run for Glenn Braggs. Braggs with home run number 2. And no sooner do I say that than Glenn Braggs punishes the pitch from Dave Schmidt. Braggs has 4 RBI. The solo home run off Schmidt here with 1 out in the 9th gives the Brewers a 7-0 lead. The second home run in the ball game. Check that, the 3rd home run in the ball game. Swaim hit one in the 4th. It's the 2nd home run in 2 innings. Greg Brock with a 3-run homer in the 8th. Braggs with a home run here in the 9th. And the Brewers lead 7-0. Cecil Cooper sends Gerhardt to the wall and left. He makes the catch. So there are 2 outs in the top of the 9th inning. The Brewers have 7 runs on 10 hits. Let's take another look at that ball hit by Glenn Braggs. He went down and got it and drove it right out of the ballpark. Home run number 2 for Glenn Braggs. Gerhardt can only watch it. Dale Swaim homered in the 4th inning. He takes a ball, 1 ball and no strikes, 2 outs in the top of the 9th inning. The Milwaukee Brewers are a red-hot ball club. I didn't have to tell you that. 8-0, on the verge of winning their 9th straight game to start the 1987 season. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Swaim taking the strike from Schmidt. Swaim is 2 for 3 tonight with a walk. He came in hitting .433. A ball down. The count is even at 2-2. Swaim is hitting .462 from the left side of the plate. He jumps at that pitch and fouls it. Two balls, 2 strikes with nobody on. And the count goes full to Dale Swaim. The payoff pitch. Fouled again. Swaim stays alive against Schmidt. The Brewers scored in the 4th, the 7th, the 8th, and here in the 9th inning. Here's the 3-2. Swing and a miss, and Swaim is gone on strikes. Schmidt gets out of the inning, but he gives up the home run to Glenn Braggs. The Brewers pick up a run on a hit and lead the Orioles through 8 1/2. It's 7-0 on the Milwaukee Brewer Television Network. Jim Paskey and Mike Egan back at Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. The Brewers take a 7-0 lead into the bottom of the 9th inning. The Brewers have 8 home runs in 2 games. Juan Nieves to face the top of the Oriole batting order here in the 9th. Ken Gerhardt, Rick Burleson, and Cal Ripken. Juan Nieves has been very sharp tonight. Ball hit to Molitor at third. There's one away. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Second baseman,
Rick Burleson, 0 for 3 tonight. A couple of strikeouts and a fly ball. Burleson 0 for 12 in this series. The poised Juan Nieves. Hit on the line to Molitor. 2 pitches, 2 outs in the 9th inning. That is the 3rd line drive of the game to Paul Molitor. Cal Ripken Jr., the number 3 hitter in the Baltimore Oriole batting order. The infield is back. The outfield at normal depth. 2 outs. Nieves misses just outside. 1 ball and no strikes to Cal Ripken Jr. Just out of the zone. 2 balls, no strikes. The 2-0 pitch. 3 balls, no strikes. Nieves has walked 4 Orioles tonight. Is Ripken taking? Yes. And he walks. That's the 5th walk given up by Juan Nieves. And now he must face Eddie Murray. Murray is 0 for 2. Retired in the 2nd inning on a fantastic catch by Jim Pachorik in left. He popped out to Schroeder in the 4th inning and was the 4th walk given up by Nieves in the 7th. Ripken on first with 2 outs in the ninth. The Brewers lead 7-0. Hit in the air. Yount makes a great catch, and Juan Nieves has thrown the first no-hitter in Milwaukee Brewer history. What else can happen to this team? Juan Nieves has no-hit the Baltimore Orioles on a great game-ending catch by Robin Yount. Juan Nieves has thrown a masterpiece, and he has been backed up by great hitting and outstanding defense. The youngster out of Puerto Rico in his second major league season has no-hit the Baltimore Orioles. It has never been done in Milwaukee Brewer history. The crowd was on its feet in the 9th inning. Juan Nieves had the support of this crowd at Memorial Stadium. This team has magic. This Milwaukee Brewer team has absolute magic in 1987. They are 9-0 to start the season. A 7-0 no-hitter for Juan Nieves. 7 runs, 10 hits, no errors for the Brewers. Baltimore, no runs on no hits. The first no-hitter of the 1987 season, but more importantly, the first no-hitter ever for the Milwaukee Brewers. There is absolute euphoria on the field and in the dugout. Juan Nieves, a young man who had a troubled rookie season. He started well, ran into trouble, admittedly got caught up in the major league lifestyle. He said, my mind got off baseball a little too much, and he had trouble in '86. He has come back in his second appearance of 1987 and no-hit the Baltimore Orioles.